Deep breath, Saskatchewan. I know I need to take one because right now I am fuming. I promised my wife I'm not going to swear, I'm not going to yell, but I am so annoyed right now with the Saskatchewan briefing on these COVID projections for cases and deaths. If I'm wrong in the long run, fine. I'll eat crow. I'll admit it if I'm wrong. But right now, I am so disappointed with the media for still, even in this situation, clickbaiting us in one sense by giving what I believe to be extremely exaggerated, out of context numbers for what's really happening in our province. This is for Saskatchewan, okay? I'm following this thing and I have since early February. Other countries, other areas, and it's just disgusting what they just posted for our province. Okay, I'm getting fired up already. This is meant to be at least a twofold or threefold thing. Number one, it's to express why I think the numbers are wrong. Two, it's to say, and I'll do it right now. So, first of all, shame on you, media, and shame on you, Saskatchewan Health Authority. Because rather than start your sentences and start your documents and start your press conferences with these words, that these are not meant to be projections or predictions. They're based on a bunch of what if scenarios. Rather than start with that to give comfort, you start with 3,000 to 9,000 deaths, which is absolutely inaccurate. I'm going to tell you why I believe it is right now. But shame on you for doing that. You say that what we should take away from this is that if we continue doing what we're doing, that it's in our hands. Well, that's true, but again, why didn't you start with that? Because that's not what people are going to take away. When they see 3,000 to 9,000 deaths, it's going to create panic again. When Saskatchewan is doing an amazing job of following all social distancing guidelines and restrictions, and we are way ahead of the curve of the world. We've seen this tidal wave coming from 1,000 miles away. We saw it happen in Wuhan, in Italy, in Spain, in New York, even in Ontario and BC. Good job, BC, by the way. Saskatchewan has seen it coming for weeks and months, and thank you for jumping on board, Saskatchewan, and doing everything right way before most areas did. And that's number one reason why we are not going to hit anywhere near the projections that you were just misguided with by the Saskatchewan Health Authority. So I will use rounded off numbers in some cases to prove my point, just for easy math to make it more understandable for everybody. But to start off, Ontario released a few days ago their projections of 3,000 to 15,000 deaths, low end, high end, on a mid-range scenario. Why is Saskatchewan, a province with 1.2 million people, as opposed to Ontario with 15 million people, have the same baseline of 3,000? How is that even possible? That math makes no sense whatsoever. That number right off is inaccurate. That was the first red flag for me. I've heard the argument that Saskatchewan is so spread out and everybody's so isolated that we could have more death because people can't be reached. COVID doesn't happen overnight, okay? You see it coming, you know it's coming. It generally takes 7 to 21 days before people succumb from COVID. That's plenty of time for people to be reached. So that excuse that we'll have more death because of the isolation, you can throw that out the window also, in my opinion. So in this modeling that we're given, the mid-range, it actually shows right in the document that they are using data from Italy. They are using data from Wuhan. Does anybody in Saskatchewan actually feel or see or believe that we are a Wuhan and we are an Italy? I don't believe it. And if you do believe that, give me a call, give me a message, and we'll talk about why you're wrong with that belief, okay? We are nowhere near those areas of the world. There's only 5 or 6 hotspots on the planet that reacted like Wuhan or Italy or Spain or New York, okay? Saskatchewan is not that. We're going to be okay. Again, we're doing amazing. We're way ahead of the curve. Pat yourself on the back. Pat your hubby, your mate, your kids on the back. Because we keep this up, I'll go out on a limb right now and say 300 to 900 deaths is going to be an absolute maximum in our province. I think that's horrific. Part of me The cheerleader in me wants to believe even those numbers are going to be high. And I'm talking between now and the end of the year, between now and Christmas. I really believe we've got this thing, especially if we continue to do what we're doing. Another flaw in this recent press release is that they're using a R naught rate, which is how many times you will pass on the virus to other people if you're carrying it. And some people say as high as 4, some people say as high or as low as 1. The World Health Organization is on record of saying 2 to 2.5%, 2 to 2.5 people you'll pass the virus on to if you have it and you're out and not social distancing. Keep that in mind, okay? That's only if you're not taking precautions when you have the virus. But in this document released, we're using 2.76%. Why are we using a number that's higher than what is on record by the World Health Organization? We're using a number that was from Italy, a major hotspot, from Wuhan, a major hotspot. I understand if we did nothing, we would be a hotspot, but we're doing everything. So stop exaggerating with those numbers also. Another plus for Saskatchewan is that we have, out of all the provinces, the second lowest infection rate per 100,000 people. And you might say, well, maybe we're not testing enough. Well, we're actually testing, I think, at the very top of the scale. I did not check this stat. My apologies. Somebody check it for me. But out of all the provinces, we're at the top of the scale for the amount of people we're testing also per 100,000 K. So we got it covered on both ends, but yet 3,000 and 9,000 deaths? No chance, you guys, no chance. I pray that I am right, and I'm doing this more on math than on anything else. And they say that there's no history on this. Well, there's a good chunk of history now. We have several countries that have gone through this. Some of them are coming out of it and relaxing the social distancing measures. So we do have a history. It's short, but it's a history. So we need to address it more often. So the actual death totals, a minimum of 3,000. I think right now in Saskatchewan, we have about 5 deaths. And for us to reach 3,000, we would need to have, on average, every day for an entire calendar year, 8.1 people succumb to COVID to reach 3,000. When we haven't even had 8 in total yet in our province, and our peak is just a couple weeks away. So it's just not plausible, and it angers me. But like I promised my wife, I'll keep a smile on my face. This is supposed to be comforting, okay? Don't panic. Another example, if we draw this out for 18 months before we have a vaccine, we would need 5.4 people to die on average every single day for 18 months straight to hit 3,000. Not plausible, not going to happen. Bottom line, you guys, I'm Canada proud. I'm Saskatchewan proud. I can't handle not having the truth. And I can't handle clickbait. I can't handle misinformation. I encourage everybody, before you jump on the bandwagon, when you see a media post, a news release, something, any article, anywhere, you need to pause and try and rationalize in your brain. If numbers work for you, do it that way. If going back through history works for you, do it that way. Even just let it settle in your heart and your soul if it makes sense, because too many people are too gullible, and we cannot expose them to things that are going to create panic and stress and anxiety and mental health issues. I love you, Saskatchewan. I know this was long, but keep doing what you're doing. This province is going to come out golden, and I hope to see you all out in the parks in a few months, enjoying the sun, maybe catching a football game, playing some bocce ball, having a few drinks with your friends, whatever it is. It's going to be a great day when we get to see everybody again. But for now, don't leave that home. Every home should only have one martyr, one person who goes out and does everything. I love you, Saskatchewan.